Adding hit location to combat in Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role-playing games, video games, and science fiction. Hit location was part of original Dungeons and Dragons. It's documented in Blackmore, which is supplement 2. I'll put a link to Blackmore. It's about 6 pages, and it's actually amazingly detailed. And I've actually used this in gaming. Now, this does a couple of things. One, you don't have one hit point stat. You have a hit point stat for overall and a hit point stat for each part of your body. So for a humanoid, that means you have 5 hit point stats. It does make it a little bit more complicated. What happens is that you break the body up into various parts for hit points, and then you roll to see what you hit. Now, this actually has some fun things to do with role-playing, because even if you don't do the hit point allocation, which I'll get back into in a minute, you can role play it. You roll 3 dice. You roll your standard 20, and you roll a set of percentiles. Your percentiles tell you where your hit was going to, and your hit die tells you whether you hit or not. So now you can say, I take a mighty swing at his arms. Because now you know that you swung at his arms, not at his head. Or I swung at his feet, or that I did swing at his head. You have by random roll, you know where you took your shot at. So this works with bows, this works with swords, things like that. So you can role play just using the hit location stats. And the book, the reason it's a little bit more than just 1 page, it's 6 pages of the book, is it describes different body types. Like you have humanoid, you have flyers, you have reptiles, you have insects, and he describes even how to go through and create, like for a centipede, which is odd because it's part snake, part insect, and the description of how you do that, or you'd go for a spider type, or so on. So the rules, if you're going to play the combat, what happens is that the hit points for each part of your body, the sum of the parts is greater than the sum of the sum of the whole. I know it's sort of like the reason why they part out cars, because each part has more value than the independently. What do I mean by that? Well, let me read the description. Each area is assigned a percentage of the total hit point value of the creature. That means the sum of the parts is greater than the sum of the whole. But as destructions means most of the various part brings some form of penalty to the creature, not to mention the possibility of immediate death. It is an equitable system. So, for example, if you destroy the head, that kills the creature. But the head has usually 15 or 20% of the body, and so on. So this allows you to allocate the hit points. What happens is when you hit, you always subtract from 2. So if you have a total of 100 hit points and your head has 20 points and you get a hit to the head for 5, you subtract 5 from the total and 5 from the head. Now it isn't too bad to play. It does slow combat down a little bit, but it's much faster. Goes back to original Dungeons and Dragons. And it's much faster than combat, say, in 4th edition or 5th edition. But if you want to, this book will work with 5th edition fairly easily. You just have to add stats for all the parts of your body, like your legs, your torso, your head, your arms. And then you calculate how many hit points each portion has. And then when you're in combat, you have to subtract from each portion as it's hit, plus the total. That way you work out if you've hit the arm, and you've hit the legs, and you've hit the head, and you've hit the body. You could actually kill it by, there would be hit points left in each section, but the total would still be lost. So you could lose you could die just from attrition, or you can die from your head being chopped off, or if your legs are chopped off, you're immobile. This brings back the Monty Python sketch about the Black Knight. It says, oh, it's just a flesh wound. But it allows you to handle damage to the character that could impede its movement. Same thing with flyers, if you attack the wings, that it can no longer fly. This is an old rule that very few people, I've met no one else who's actually used this. I'd love to hear comments from other people who've used hit location from Blackmore in their campaign. I enjoy Blackmore. It's grown on me more over the ages because I like to go through the Temple of the Frog. So it's $5 on Drive-Thru RPG for a PDF. And that's what it cost originally. The original price on here was $5. I thought that was printed somewhere. I think I paid $5 when I bought mine. This is an original copy. It's in pretty good shape. And I bought this in 1975, I thought. No, this is my replacement? No. But I bought this when it first came out. I have my original Greyhawk, and that's not as good shape because that was used probably more than this was. But Blackmore was a great addition because it added assassins and monks and things like that. I highly recommend it. But if you want to add hit location, this is a quick way to do it. Thank you. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all your comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both forms of feedback. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, you can click on the icon on the left. If you're interested, there's more content on the right.